Howdy everyone, my name is Tom. For today's topic, I'm going to be talking about modern bodybuilding and BED use and why a lot of people are dying. So, in the realm of bodybuilding, everyone has this goal in mind. However, it's a continuous loop. We're never satisfied with ourselves. We're never satisfied with our accomplishments. We want to continue on. We want bigger and better. We want more shreds. We want more lines. We want more density. We want everything to be improved upon once we have accomplished our goal, right? So if your goal is to get big and massive and to get to this stage, right, you will achieve that. But after you have won or lost, right, you're going to want to strive for better, bigger, and to look freakier than before, to top your competitors, or just top yourself in the past. And that's what a lot of people do. That's what a lot of people endure. And in fact, this is called body dysmorphia. I have a video about this somewhere on my channel, so go check that out. It's a little bit more in depth regarding body dysmorphia and how it affects a person and things of that nature. But we're going to be discussing why people are dying and why people are using PEDs in the first place, right? So essentially, it all boils down to body dysmorphia. Everything is all about body dysmorphia. Body dysmorphia drives a person to go insane, essentially, right? It's like chasing the dragon. It's like chasing the high. You know, when you get high, the first high is always the best high, and once you do it again and again and again, you cannot achieve that same high anymore. So it's called chasing the dragon. You're trying to chase the same thing that you got in the first place, but you don't get that satisfaction no more because your brain has you know, adapted to this or understand what it's going through. So you're tricking your brain into thinking you can receive the satisfaction, but in reality, you need to stop and re-examine yourself, right? And this is a vicious cycle that everyone goes through when it comes to bodybuilding or sports or whatever the case might be. And it's all about self-control. Sometimes people overdo it. Sometimes people know how to control it, and so forth, right? But those who go overboard tend to run into some bad situations, death, essentially, right? And we see it everywhere. We see it with professional bodybuilders, teenagers, even young adults, right? And like I said, it's due to body dysmorphia. So people are using PEDs more frequently because of the internet, essentially, right? Everyone is peer pressuring everyone else to look good and to get in shape and to get muscular, to look sexy and toned and stuff of that nature. So in reality, majority of the population who don't work out don't want to work out. You know, they're lazy and they want a shortcut for everything. And that's the main answer for this topic. They want a shortcut. So they do their little research and they go on Google or YouTube and type in how to get muscles fast, and essentially steroids will pop up sooner or later. So when people read about steroids and especially getting advice from professional bodybuilders, they think it's okay because these professionals are giving some good advice. But in reality, these professional bodybuilders aren't professional in the scientific things, okay? Not all of them are very knowledgeable in the scientific realm, but professional bodybuilders aren't made for that type of aspect, Just because a professional bodybuilder is professional doesn't mean he knows everything about steroids and how it affects the body, right? So you cannot really take advice from a professional bodybuilder because they may be abusing the fuck out of those steroids in order to achieve a certain look and or to top their competitors to get an advantage and to become Mr. Olympia or whatever the case might be. Because every person is different. Every person responds differently to PEDs or steroids. So, for instance, a lot of people think that Phil Heath, since he was the most winningest bodybuilder, if I said that right, or that Phil Heath must be taking high dosages of every steroid. But in fact, that's not the truth. A lot of professional bodybuilders don't really abuse the fuck out of their steroid use. However, a lot of them do. It just depends on the person and what drugs they're using, and whether if they want to be number one, because let's face it, to be number one, you have to go balls to the walls and go crazier than anyone else. So yes, you need to kind of abuse PEDs in order to be number one, but we're not going to be talking about how to be number one. We're discussing why people are dying due to PED use and stuff like that, right? So people, first of all, when you're taking steroids, it will cause many complications, okay? Especially if you have a underlying health condition that you aren't aware of, right? So a lot of people are abusing these PEDs and think that nothing's gonna happen, especially if they're controlling it and moderating it in moderation, but that's not the case. Especially if you have an underlying health condition, you're going to exacerbate the issue. Therefore, your time is going to be ending sooner than later because you're exacerbating the issue further. You're essentially enhancing the process of whatever is going on within your body to the point where now you really need to take care of yourself because you cannot go back, right? And if you didn't use the steroids prior to finding out that you did have the underlying health conditions, you can treat that underlying health condition before it gets worse. And this is where many people face death and many other health complications because they are shortening their lifespan due to a underlying health condition that they were never aware of in the first place. And this happens with many people, even professional bodybuilders, so I mean, in order to prevent this, in order to find out if you do have underlying health conditions, people need to do blood work, go to the doctors and get checked up. But at least 99% of the people who participate in the bodybuilding realm and professional bodybuilders and people who are using PEDs actually don't get blood work often or frequently. And this is why we see many professional bodybuilders dying, because they simply do not care. They simply want to be number one. They want to be the best. They want to be the biggest. They want to be the strongest. They want to be the most shredded. And or they're using these PEDs for years and years and years. And just, your body has so much stress and have so much stress on the body that it cannot handle it no more. So your body just gives up essentially and, just collapses and dies, or whatever the case might be. You may encounter a heart attack or whatever the case might be, right? So, like I said, professional bodybuilders aren't professional. They're only professional in what they are doing, which is working out and showcasing their physique. But they're not professionals in what steroids do, how it affects the body, and what factors and how to mitigate these issues and so forth, right? They're not professionals in that realm. So this is why young adults, even teenagers, are experiencing consequences, lifelong consequences. We see many young adults experiencing heart attacks, body dysmorphia, anxiety, depression, and so forth. And, body dysmorphia is everywhere. It's just not rampant nowadays. It's been rampant for years, in fact. But it's more prevalent now because we have the internet and we have social media. So of course we're going to see it a little bit more often than before. But and also, in addition to that, it is easier to buy PEDs online than ever before. So this is why the PED use in the bodybuilding community is going up, and many people are reporting their health conditions and whatnot because they want to make other people aware that it is not worth taking if you're not a professional or entering the professional stage. In my opinion, that's the best time to use it. And especially if you are wanting, you know, to participate in the bodybuilding competitions, because the best bodybuilding competitions are the enhanced bodybuilding competitions, right? But you don't have to necessarily go to the enhanced side of things. There are natural competitions, but sometimes, well, all the time, a lot of people are limited due to their genetic factors. So if you have a genetic limit, using steroids will push those boundaries, so you could get bigger, more shredded, you could lose fat faster, and overall the whole process of bodybuilding will be more efficient because you are enhancing everything. So yeah, people, um you know, if people are wanting to prevent such health consequences, they need to gain the knowledge when it comes to biology, the enhancement side of things. You need to understand steroids, every steroid out there, when it comes to using a certain steroid, a specific steroid, because there's tons of steroids out there. You got SARMs, you got steroids, you got all that, right? So make sure you do your research on every specific steroid that you are interested in order to ensure that you're on a right track to becoming healthy and not to cause death or whatever the case might be, right? And never abuse anything. You know, higher dosages doesn't mean, yes, I'm going to get more bigger than last time, or I'm going to be bigger than the other person next to me on stage. Okay. No, remember what I said earlier. Just because like Phil Heath was the most winningest bodybuilder ever doesn't mean he's taking the highest dosage on this earth. You know, a lot of people who are taking higher dosages than the other person actually don't look better than the other person. You know what I'm saying? So more doesn't always mean better. Less can be better. It's all about your work ethic, your consistency, and how dedicated you are to this process, right? And for natural bodybuilders, I would not recommend entering the enhancement side of things until your natural processes starts to decline, your natural testosterone, and or once you have hit that genetic limit, then I would advise to to do research and decide whether if you want to go to that route or not. Because at the end of the day, once you stop using these PEDs, you're going to revert back to where you came from. So you're going to be looking scrawny again, you're going to be soft looking, and overall, you're not going to look like a beast no more once you stop using these PEDs. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. So, I mean, you'll keep some of them, but you're not going to look like a beast no more. So with that being said, you know, why a lot of people are dying in this modern age of bodybuilding is because body dysmorphia and the easy access of purchasing PEDs online. And there's no regulation when it comes to selling stuff online other than, you know, Amazon and stuff like that. But overseas, websites that are hosted overseas can easily sell anything. So, and especially if you have a, you know, VPN or anything to that nature, you can easily purchase things and stuff like that. But I'm rambling on. But thanks for watching, people.